Hello. It's been more than a year since my last video, and it's been very obvious I haven't been very consistent with this channel. I haven't really been too worried just because this is more so kind of like a casual thing, but like I noticed it's been more than a year, and at least it's been more than a year since my last long time no see video, and that was supposed to be a monthly thing, so that didn't really turn out. But it's because life and going to college and whatnot, which I would assume you guys would kind of assume, if you don't know me anyways. A lot has happened, a lot has changed in the past year or so, and I've come back for the summer. I'm in my hometown again, and I don't know, I've just been busy and trying to handle things, but again, that just kind of feels pretty obvious. So I'm just kind of like recap just the general gist of, the past year or so, as neatly and concisely as I can, and then just talk about some more stuff. I got an eyebrow piercing, for one. I'm growing my hair out a little bit more. Growing that out a little bit more. I'm going to IndieCon again with my friends, and I do want to make a vlog, like an actual vlog for this time. But last year it was in March. This year it's in June, so it's actually June like 5th to 7th. I'm going the Saturday and Sunday, and I'm going to Stavros and Moxie. I'm not a Hellowwwwwwwww fan whatsoever, but I've always told people I love my friends more than I don't like Hellowwwwwwww and Bibsy Pop and all that stuff. I actually did watch Hazbin Hotel fully over spring break earlier this year. I'll have my opinions on that. I really want to make just a whole video over that because I have my opinions. But I will say I definitely feel like a lot of the hate that the series has gotten, half of it, like if Bibsy Pop didn't make it and if they didn't cuss as much as they do, then I kind of think a lot of the issues that people have with it wouldn't exist. Or at least like a good chunk of it anyways, is my opinion. But I do want to make a video for that separately. So obviously I graduated from high school last year. That was pretty fun. I do miss some teachers, but for the most part I'm really glad I'm out of high school. I'm very glad I graduated. Over the summer, I can't really remember what I did last year. Again, there was IndieCon, there was working over the summer, and then, I went to college, in August. Can't remember. I can't remember what I did exactly over the summer. I just remember working and then going to college. It was really rough at first, so September, August, September, that was really rough, just being away from my family. It was bad, I was crying and stuff for a good month, or a good month I would say, and I ended up coming back for the weekends. I remember originally I was actually planning on leaving or not coming back to my hometown till breaks and stuff. And in hindsight, I'm just kind of I don't know how I would have done that. Kind of sad, the friend group not really breaking up, but not really being able to hang out, because I used to be able to hang out with my friends every day basically. And then going from that to, I have a friend that moves to South Carolina. Some of my other friends are either just in my hometown or, somewhere else, and going to college, and some aren't. It's I don't know, it's kind of sad, but we still talk to each other, so that's still pretty nice. I started getting more involved in the music scene and stuff in the city I moved to for school. That's pretty fun. I definitely made a lot more friends both like inside college and outside of college. And I'm very grateful for them because they definitely made the year way better. Um, I did stop contact with my ex, which is a whole thing I could get into. But like TLDR, I was friends with him after we broke up, and we were like friends kind of, and we were kind of like, we had like this weird like I hesitate to use the word like situationship because I'm just kind of like it wasn't a situationship, you just weren't dating, but like I understand like the feeling, so I don't. My belief with situationships, I don't think they're real, but the like feeling that they exude, like I get it when people use that, if that makes sense. Um, so we had like a weird thing kind of going on like over the summer. Basically him being like, oh my god, he was basically like, um, like if you no, at first he was like, I low key wish like we didn't like break up, and I was like, yeah, me too, low key, and we had like this. He was like, by the time we're 30, we should like get married if we're both single by then, um, and all this other stuff, and it was like kind of weird, basically, and then um, it's been like 2 years now since like we broke up, but we were still kind of like friends, like weird thing kind of going on still. Um, and then I stopped talking to him November, or it wasn't really like I stopped talking to him. What happened was that November comes around, I'm kind of like, we should hang out more. We should, hang out, just like, because we said we were gonna hang out and all this other stuff when I move over, because, he lived in the city that I moved to for school, and he was basically like we hung out like when I first moved there, like the first day of class or whatever, and then after that I was kind of like, like hey, like we should hang out more, and I wasn't like trying to be like, oh, we should, like date again or whatever. It was just like I just wanted to hang out with him because we were friends and all this other stuff, and it's like I'm finally in the city you live in. I want to hang out with you because we're friends, and that's what friends do. And I don't know, dude kind of said like I don't really go on my phone and all this other stuff. But even I don't know, it was just like even if you didn't like being on your phone and using technology and all this other stuff, like I feel like if you actually still cared about the person, like you'd still be like, hey, like we should still hang out, and or stuff like that. And dude didn't really put in. At least I didn't really feel like he put in enough effort, or at least enough for me to feel like, oh, like he's actually like chill with me. Um, so I kind of like had this like final straw moment because it was kind of brewing like over the 2 years like we were friends after we broke up. Because again, there were all these other things that happened. It was just like weird. Um, and broke up was kind of, I don't know, it was weird. But anyways, November, I have a final straw moment, and I got confront him about it, and I'm like, you know, you're really judgmental. You make me feel bad about these things, and also you're like, like, dude, we can't keep doing this. Like, and I don't even know if you still want to be friends. Like I don't know what your deal is, basically. Um, and it kind of sucked because at the end of it, he was like, "So that's why you broke up?" Because I told him like the reason why, like, um, I like soft blocked him basically, So I had him unfollow. No, I unfollowed him, and then I made him unfollow my account because it's private on Instagram. And he was like, why'd you soft block me? Because he kind of texted me after a week, and I was kind of like, I wonder how long it's going to take him to text me back or do anything. Um, and at the end of our conversation, and after I told him, why, he was like, so that's why you like soft blocked me, like you stopped talking to me. And I was like, it's not. And I told him like it's not the reason why, but it was like the final thing that kind of like broke the camel's back essentially. And dude, I don't know what his deal is, but he has a very hard time saying I'm sorry for some reason. Like in the 5 years that I had known him, because I met him in 2020, so like I've been knowing him. Um, like he just has a hard time saying sorry or apologizing in like a or just saying I'm sorry. Um, so instead of saying sorry or just like anything vaguely meaningful, he was just like, I think you have some issues you need to solve, and I don't really know what to say about that. And I was like, yeah, and that's kind of why I didn't really want to talk to you right now, because I told him at the beginning of that conversation, I don't really want to talk to you about it right now. I don't, I don't want to. I really don't want to. Um, and then he blocked me first, and I was like, okay, if you're gonna go low, I'll go lower or whatever. So I blocked him on like every platform I could think of. Um, but yeah, so that kind of sucked, and I guess I'm still kind of like sad over it a little bit, but I'm not like, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. I guess it was for the better, like the better. Every time I think about it, I think it's a thing that you can like be sad over, obviously, because it's like I thought you wanted to be friends, but I don't know, doesn't really you don't really act like that. Um, but I don't know. I guess it was for the better. It was kind of taking too long for anything to like really happen. I guess um, to cut that relationship off, because even like I had been thinking about it for a while, just because of how he is and stuff. And I'm not the only person um, that he's been friends with or that he's known that has also been like, dude, like you suck. Like I don't want to be friends with you anymore. So yeah. But anyways, November, I joined a band very promptly. It was from November to like January, February of this year. And it's supposed to be hardcore like youth crew. Um, they're still doing that, but we have at least they haven't really had practice for a while. But I like know how to kind of play guitar, and I've been wanting to learn how to play it more. So I'll actually practice more this summer. Um, but like guitar is like one thing, and like learning how to play, and then hardcore guitar is like its whole other like separate world basically. So I was kind of like, I'll learn how to do it, like I'll try it out or whatever. And I got to meet some pretty cool people, and we're still friends, and we still talk. Um, yeah, so I'm not really doing that anymore, but still being involved in the scene. December. This is all like very vague stuff. There's definitely more things I could go into depth about that I can remember. Um, December, I go to Mexico for vacation. That's pretty fun. We see my family. There's like photos and stuff. January, um, I end up. It's so funny because if you told me, like even like 6 months ago, like all the stuff that's happened so far, I would have been like, what are you talking about? Like, you're like crazy, basically. Um, but January, um, I basically kind of start talking to this person that I have like some history with since like high school, so like 10th grade, ninth grade, and I was kind of like I hadn't talked to them since like 10th grade. I think I'm pretty sure that was like the last time, but they're also pretty involved in the music scene in that city I moved to. So I was kind of like, oh, I'm so scared. I'm kind of scared, guys. And we never like interacted, but like I like saw them a couple times, and I'm pretty sure they also saw me a couple of times. And there's like this whole thing between like me and them and my ex that I was talking about earlier. Like all of this stuff, by the way. Um, and I was kind of like, oh my god, so weird. Like, what if they're gonna like slime me, basically? You know, because I was thinking my ex had like made it sound like, you know, this person was like basically Satan reincarnated. Um, and because, you know, they had a really messy like friendship, weird like situationship thing kind of going on. Um, and again, I was just like, this is the devil from the Bible, basically, is how he made them sound like. Um, so we kind of get into contact January, and they're kind of like explaining all the stuff that happened since we last talked. Um, Between them and their ex, and them and my ex, because both of our exes are friends now, which is absolutely amazing. Um, so they got that going on for them. And then I don't know, we're like talking, just kind of, you know, talking about stuff that's happened since we last met, last talked. And I think like over like the months we kind of like start knowing each other more, start like dropping like lore and all this other stuff. And now we're gonna be roommates um this August, actually. So that's kind of a silly turn of events, but they're pretty cool. Their other friends are also pretty chill. But I, you know, was never expecting that to happen. Um, so yeah, I at school, in college, this is my first year, so I'm a freshman, turning into sophomore this year. But I got really into ceramics, and I want to do more of it. I really like it. It's really fun. I did ceramics a little bit in high school, um, but my last 2 years I didn't really get to do an elective because I had um, like vocational stuff I had to do, so that took up like half of the day basically. But I'm going to a ceramic tour slash sale this Saturday, so I'm very excited. I'm also unemployed. My family and I, we just got back from a trip to South Dakota um, this week, so I got out of school like first week of like May, basically. So like the 7th, I left because I didn't have any classes that Friday, and we were in South Dakota for most of it. We went to Wisconsin to like see some friends, so that's pretty cool. Um, like family, friends, and stuff. And now I came back, and this is my like fourth day of unemployment. I had an interview this Tuesday, this past Tuesday, at this like community center that's in my hometown. I don't think they're gonna hire me, if I'm being honest, and that's mainly because, you know, I told them like I'm gonna go back to Fort Wayne. Well, okay. I don't really think I'm gonna get hired, if I'm being honest, because you know, I'm moving back to that city when I move out and school begins again. And it's like an hour drive, so there's like no way I would be able to, you know, come back for that job. And it's full time too, so and if they don't, like, I'm fine with that. I'm not really expecting that, but I have a friend who works at a factory near here, and I'm really hoping they hire me because I need money, and especially money for tuition too. And also, I don't really like being unemployed. I like having money and also having something to do in the day, and I feel like I'm chud maxing basically. I think like for the past couple of days, actually since like Monday, I've just been eating like ice cream and tuna sandwiches and watching It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I've been getting that into that a lot recently, and oh my god, I love it so much. It's one of my favorite shows right now and probably in general, and it's honestly like rivaling um, my love of Homestuck right now. Um, I haven't finished Homestuck yet, by the way. I've been. I told myself I was gonna finish it before IndieCon, but IndieCon's in like 2 weeks now. So I managed to read a little bit more. I'm definitely like I'm more Caliborn can't even remember. I think he's starting to get onto his like weird yaoi stuff or whatever Caliborn is. Um, but yeah, It's Always Sunny. Just got into that. Love the show. Love Charlie. I need Charlie Carnley. I want to become Mac. He's my transition goals. I'm hoping to get a gym membership when I start working, wherever I start working. And yeah, I'm hoping to get on testosterone later this year. I have nothing confirmed, but I just Planned Parenthood, please. I was kind of homeless. I kind of need testosterone, please and thank you, because that'd be so awesome. Oh my god, there's a giant like wasp outside my window right now. Um, I've been getting some good music now. I didn't know like I found out what shoegaze and like screamo and like youth crew and stuff was last year when I moved from my hometown. And it's like I don't know why I didn't know what those genres were, but I've been getting more into them and I really like them. I also started a zine. I might link that somewhere. But yeah, I might link that somewhere in the description. But I've been getting into car seat headrest, not related to those other genres, but like I had heard about car seat headrest. I kind of knew about it, not like enough to like be like, yeah, I listened to them, and I'm very happy I didn't get into it when I was in high school because I know I would have related to all the songs a little too much, and I also feel like it would have been ruined for me. And it like that would have sucked because the music it's really good music. They're really good songs. Um, my favorites are Nervous Young, Inhumans, and then Bodies, and then Twin Fantasy, Those Boys. Me personally, not in that order, just in general. Um, but yeah, I'm very glad I didn't get into that album in high school because I would have been very sad and very. That would have probably ruined it for me. Mm, there's definitely some other stuff that's been going on, but I just kind of felt like that's a general gist of the stuff that's been going on, updates. Um, yeah, I do want to do more video stuff. I kind of want to start like a Bandcamp project with that roommate later this year, and I also want to start a band, but I don't know. I feel like that's kind of not gay. Just like I don't know if I have the time, and I don't want to. I have way too many unfinished projects that I need to finish, and I have not yet. But yeah, I do want to be more consistent with this, so hopefully I can actually start working on that. Um, like has been critique, and then IndieCon, like vlog slash like commentary question mark. Um, and probably some other stuff too. But that's kind of it for now. And see you guys next month, I guess. I don't really know. Hopefully I'll remember and hopefully I'll have like the motivation to remember. But yeah, you guys have a good day and thank you for tuning in.